So let's talk about moving to the cloud. We need to get up and we need to move our infrastructure to the cloud, and we may need to reorganize. So what kind of strategy should we adopt? So this one is one that AWS recommends. There are many others, and they all tend to be similar. So looking at the big picture, it's a 4-step process. We need to have a project just to get used to the cloud. So we'll try one small project. Basically figure out what are the tools that we need to use. And so the next phase is building a foundation. We need, for example, just with accounts, we need multiple accounts and how we're going to organize those. And we need to build up a center of excellence, perhaps, for cloud computing. We need to learn fast in the company and build up a foundation within the company where people can get advice about various divisions as they move to the cloud. The next one is actual migration to the cloud. How do we do this? We may have legacy systems. We may, for example, adopt a lift and shift strategy where we just package up our present system into, say, a Docker container and move it up to the cloud. But there are 6 different strategies that we might choose from. So we need to understand those. And then once we're in the cloud, we need to reinvent ourselves. That's the last phase. So now that we're operating in the cloud, we've got cloud expertise, we need to perhaps relook at our organizational structure and adapt it to perhaps be more agile. So let's take a look at these phases. The project phase, you're going to run several projects in the cloud and just get familiar with the tooling that's available. And there's typically a lot of tooling in the cloud. So you're going to look at the services that they may have and how could we possibly use those. The foundation phase, we've got some experience. Now we need to perhaps institutionalize it a little. We need to create a landing zone. For example, we need to pre-configure and secure multi-accounts in the AWS environment. We maybe need to have a cloud center of excellence. And we need an operations model of how we're going to operate the cloud, how we're going to finance it, how that's going to work, and how are we going to ensure security. And particularly if we have compliance issues, how are we going to be compliance ready in the cloud? So now the actual migration. So the migration strategies, there are 6 of them. I've left out 2 of them here in this diagram. The 2 I've left out are retire or retain. And so these are the other 4. So let's take a look at them in some detail. So rehosting, this is lift and shift. We just use the hardware in the cloud and that's about it. So this is perhaps one of the most common. Then there's replatforming where we lift, tinker and shift. So now we're going to do, perhaps we'll replace the database with the database service that's offered by the cloud. Then there's drop and shop. So in this case, we're going to drop what we have and we're going to shop around for something that already exists in the cloud. Perhaps there's a licensing model that we can use, and then for workloads, maybe we can upgrade to newer versions. And this strategy might allow a richer feature set, an upgrade and a smoother implementation. And then refactoring the code. This is perhaps the most difficult, where we may need to break it apart. This is what actually Netflix went through. They broke apart their central ERP systems and refactored them into multiple pipelines. And we might just retire the code, buy something new. Or we may decide to retain portions of the IT portfolio because they're not easy to migrate and we'd feel more comfortable with them on-prem. So those are the 6 strategies. And the final stage is reinvention. Now that we're operating in the cloud, we can focus on taking advantage of the flexibility and capabilities of the cloud, perhaps increasing our DevOps speed and time to market from ideas to deployment. So this is an exciting time to be doing this, but those are the stages that you'll go through. So hope you enjoyed this. Bye for now.